Friends, we are excited to be welcoming folks back for in-person worship on November 1st, All Saints Day this year. We are excited, but also because we're still in the midst of a pandemic, and the health and safety of both our worshipers and of our worship leaders is important. Things are, by necessity, going to remain a bit different. And so I wanted to take just a few minutes to try to show you what to expect as we get ready for a return to in-person worship. Before you even leave home, make sure that you have your mask. You may also want to take time to print out the order of service that is emailed out every week on Thursday by Katie, or posted on the Facebook page so that you have your own copy of the order of service. You're also going to want to dress for the weather of the day, because we're going to be turning off the air conditioner and or the heat during the services to not circulate the air. So dress comfortably, bring layers. We want you to be comfortable, but we don't want to circulate the air more than we need to. As you arrive, we plan for the sanctuary door, the narthex door, to be open to you so that you don't have to touch anything on your way in. And once you're in the narthex, you'll be greeted by our officer of the day, who will have the reservation book handy in order to check you in and tell you or remind you of your assigned pew. How about somebody else? Let's see. We've got Stan and Judy Bittner, who are going to be in pew number 6. We'll see if we can find them. You'll get checked in and told where your pew is. From there, I'd call your attention to the flower chart is up, and we haven't had flowers in a good long while, so if you want to take time to sign at the flower chart, please do that. We also will be returning, the communications table is back. We don't have sign-up sheets yet because we don't have much for you to sign up for. On the other side of the narthex, you will see a place where you can leave your offerings, either on the way in or on the way out. And then perhaps most importantly, we have here our health and sanitation table, where you will find hand sanitizer. There are disinfecting wipes if you'd like to take one or two to your pew in order to wipe down the woodwork where you'll be sitting. Also extra masks in case you forgot and left yours at home. There's also a seating chart to help you find your pew. And there are also copies of the order of service here in case you left yours at home. On Communion Sundays, you'll also find prepackaged communion in these offering plates here, so that you can have your juice and your bread with you in the pew and don't have to bring it from home. As you come in, we're going to ask that you leave at least 6 feet of distance between whoever is in front of you. And if anybody creeps up on you behind, give them the politest Presbyterian stink eye you can to ask them to just step back. As you come into the sanctuary, you will see that there are markers for the pew numbers on the back. And I said Stan and Judy are in pew 6. They're going to be officers of the day at 8:30, and pew 6 is right here as you come in the door. This is great camera work. I thank Diana and Marion Shelton and our secretary Katie for helping me to do this little walk and talk. As you come into the sanctuary, you'll notice that things are a bit different. In addition to the fresh coat of paint on the walls and how beautiful that looks, you'll notice that we now have a screen in the chancel, because most of our choral music, all of our choral music, is essentially going to be pre-recorded. This will enable you to see our Trinity musicians in addition to hear them. You'll also notice that the sound booth for our audio AV person is up front, so that they can both see and hear what's going on in the room and on our live stream for those who are worshiping that way. You'll also note, please do not cross this line unless you are the liturgist or the lucky person who has drawn seat number 22 and are seated in the chancel, in which case we will help you find your way to your seats. So once you make it to your pew, we ask that you come directly to your pew, that you sit there and remain there throughout the service unless you need to use the restroom. The restrooms are still located off of the narthex, and the officers of the day will help to ensure that it's just one person at a time in the restrooms. And I know you do, but I remind you anyways, if you use the restroom during the service, please wash your hands thoroughly before coming back into the room. You can also stop by for hand sanitizer at the table in the narthex. We're going to ask that you keep your mask on the entire time that you are in the building, or if you stay to fellowship in the parking lot, that you have a mask on anytime you're within 6 feet of someone else. We will dismiss you at the end of the service, row by row, and ask you to keep social distance. During the hymns, if you're attending in person, we're going to invite you to either hum or to sing quietly to yourself with your mask on. We're not going to be standing and singing together as a congregation. It will be more meditative forms of hymn singing. So friends, I continue to pray every day that everyone will practice social distancing, will wear a mask, and make the choice to stay at home as much as possible, so that we can curb the spread of this disease, which has been so tragic for so many people. I also continue to pray more fervently every day for effective therapeutics and for a safe and effective vaccine, so that we can put this COVID-19 pandemic behind us once and for all. But until then, in order for us to gather in person and in safety, the session and I are asking you to come, and to come joyfully, but to come prepared to follow these procedures that we have put in place, both for your safety and for those of us who help to lead this congregation. I do look forward to welcoming each of you who have decided to come and attend in-person services. It will be a joy to have something other than the collection of puppets on the front row to preach to. But I also look forward to continuing to be a guest in your living room for those of you who are going to stay at home and worship on the live stream in your pajamas and with your breakfast in front of you. It is a privilege to be the pastor here. Let us worship God in whatever way is right and appropriate for us, but let us do so in a way that brings honor and glory to God. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. God bless.